sussing out your luck, going hard in the paint, and that's how you assert dominance.
Hey, what's up guys, it's SirTagCR, and today we're back at it again with the Sparky deck that actually works. As you guys can see, this Sparky deck is based off of the premise of zap bait. So you got bats, goblin gang, and spear goblins along with your Sparky, so whenever your opponent zaps one of those cards, the remaining 3 cards are going to get a lot of value. The main way that I like to utilize my Sparky is converting defense into offense. So you're going to see me killing pekkas, giants, or golem pushes, then dropping my own giant in front of my Sparky and having a pretty menacing counter push. Giant Sparky traditionally struggles heavily against minion horde, but in this deck you have Ice Spirit and Zap coupled with Fireball. You're really not going to have too many issues with that. Typically I'm not a fan of giant Sparky decks because they always have Goblin Barrel and they seem to have too many moving parts. Too many things that could potentially go wrong because there's not enough versatile cards. But this Sparky Giant deck is different. It doesn't have Goblin Barrel, it's not susceptible to those clunky starting hands, and I just feel like it's a lot better in general. I'm so glad that I was able to find a Sparky deck that actually works for me. So let's go jump straight into some GCs and let's assert some dominance. So I have a game against Morris and I waited for him to make the first starting play because I had a really bad starting hand. I had Giant, I had Fireball, I had Zap, and I had Sparky. If I dropped any of those cards, I could have got punished, and he's going to have Pekka with Battle Ram. So he's going to have Pekka Bridge Spam. Hopefully he doesn't have Inferno Dragon as well. That would be very scary for me. So I'm just going to let my Sparky do its thing. I'm also going to go drop a Goblin Gang, and we're going to get some nice Fireball value, so I can't pass up on that. Gotta make sure that we get that. He's also got Electro Wizard to reset our Sparky, but we're going to be going in for a Zap to make sure that the Electro Wizard is disintegrated and our Sparky is still kicking it on the map. He has Dark Prince, he's got Electro Wizard, he's got Pekka for our Giant. Oh my gosh, this is going to be a difficult matchup, guys, but the thing is, his Pekka is not in cycle, so I think this is our time to shine. I think we go Giant at the river. I think that we go in for our bats because he doesn't have Electro Wizard. We could bait out a Zap and then go spam him with either Goblin Gang or Spear Goblins. So he has Zap, so that means I'm going to go in for Spear Goblins. The Pekka is actually going to make sure that it does a lot. Well, the Pekka is going to do a lot of damage to our Giant, but we're still going to do a lot of damage to the Pekka, and then the Pekka is not going to have a huge counter push potential. So this is actually working out really well for me. The Stevens put in the work on the Pekka. That's awesome, and we got a lot of damage there. So no gripes at all. I'm going to go in for a Zap to make sure that, okay, not good. So that Zap was actually supposed to hit the Ice Spirit so then we wouldn't have to spend any more Elixir on it. And we're going to have to eat a little bit of Barbarian damage. Then I'm going to have to go drop my bats. Oh man, I don't like this. But I don't think he's back to, I don't really think he's back to his Pekka just yet. He's going to go in for a Zap yet again, so he's going to be back to his Pekka. But this is where we put in a lot of pain. He's definitely down Elixir because he did commit. He committed very steadily and very heavily in that investment of the poison. So since it was single Elixir, he did not have enough Elixir for the Pekka. And as a result, the Giant is reigning in the pain, giving me a lot of damage. I'm going to go in for bats. And wow, he's got Ceiling Fan, so I'm going to Fireball that immediately. Can't pass up on that either, bro. So somehow, some way, we are still in the lead in this game. I don't understand. Like, if I were to make a deck to counter my deck, this is what it would be. So he's going to go drop the Battle Ram in the back. I assume he's going to try to apply a lot of pressure. I'm going to go in for my Sparky. He hasn't seen it yet. I actually don't think I've dropped my Sparky. Sparky should just completely obliterate the pencil and the Pekka in one fell swoop. I'm going to go in for Spear Goblins. His tower is in Fireball range. That's another really great thing about this Sparky deck. It has direct damage. Most Sparky decks, their direct damage is like Goblin Barrel, and it's not really that great in most circumstances. So we're going to go in for a Fireball just to make sure that we clean up the Electro Wizard, and it's working really well. What does he have to do? There's nothing he can do. He's got Ceiling Fan, he had Electro Wizard, he had Dark Prince, and he had Zap, but we still ended up coming up with a W. Good game, well played, and good luck. This deck just has no counter deck apparently. Alright guys, we got another game against Arima Kishu, and I probably butchered that name, but I tried my hardest, from Clashlands. So we're going to be dropping an Ice Spirit right in front of our bats, and we see a Baby Dragon. So this is probably going to be a Golem deck. It could also be some Wax Splash Yard variation, but Splash Yard is pretty dead right now. Not many people run it, so I'm going to safely assume that this is going to be Golem. He's going to be dropping the Dark Prince in the back, and that is just more akin to a Golem deck, and we're going to go drop the... do I want to go drop my Goblin Gang? Yeah, now I can go drop it. Just don't want it to get hit by the Dark Prince. He had log anyway, so it didn't really matter for me. I'm going to go drop my bats yet again. I'm going to try to make some push out of this because the Giant will be pretty moderately healthy at least, and he's going to actually have to exhaust a NATO, so I like that. So we know that he's running the NATO Dark Prince Baby Dragon Golem variation. What I really want to do is I want to get some massive counter push with my Sparky, but that's not really going to happen. We're going for a Giant. I assume that we safely outcycled him because we have a much faster cycle. I don't think he's back to log. I think that we're actually going to bring in the pain right here with our Giant push, and the Prince is not going to do so well. He's going to have to go drop a Dark Prince. So he is going to clean this up. He played that moderately well. We're going to go in for a fireball. And then I'm going to also go in for bats. So since we saw a log, right, I don't think he has any way of dealing with these bats. And that's going to work out so well for me. I'm going to go in for spear goblins and barely make sure that the prince doesn't finesse us. So when you see NATO, log, and they're probably going to have another bigger spell like rocket or poison, there's no way that he has NATO, log, and also zap. So I could safely assume that, and I got a lot of damage there. And I cycled my fireball trying to get back to my bats early as possible. So it worked out really well. Notice how I'm going to go drop my Sparky. The Sparky counter push is going to be unprecedented against the golem. I never dropped my Sparky before that because I wanted him to drop his golem and then get a huge counter push here. So another thing that I want to do is I want to utilize my giant so then I can tank for the bats. And now the bats are just going to thrive, decimate the baby dragon, and we're going to have an unreal counter push. He even had to poison bats. Oh, that feels so bad, man. This is actually a really good matchup for me if I utilize my Sparky correctly and just utilize my bats, because realistically, what does he have for bats, right? This deck just works so well against that. And the Sparky gets a charge off, keeping the Sparky alive. We protect our Sparkies, boys. So we're going to go in for bats. The Giant is going to be tanking for the Sparky. He's going in for a poison, but Santa Claus is going to be raining in the pain, or the Sparky might just get a hit. In dire straits, this man does go in for a NATO to pull everything backward. But it's not going to matter too much. All we got to do is defend the virginity very casually. He's going to go in for a log, but he's not going to hit the majority of the Goblin Gang just approaching his tower. We're going to go in for bats as well. And he really only has pump as like the only way of distracting. No, he's got pump and NATO. So he does have a decent way of distracting this giant, but we really only need a few more hits. Oh my gosh, this is going to be a pretty annoying rest of the game. What I gotta do is I gotta go in for my giant to pull everything. Then I'm gonna go in for my bats. The baby dragon is still gonna be a little bit of a nuisance. I'm gonna start fireball cycling him because there's not actually a great way of getting into him. So I just want to go in for oh wow, the ice spear connected. That's gonna be GG basically. All I gotta do is go in for another giant. No, the giant's gonna be more than enough. And we're gonna go in for spear goblins, go in for fireball, and capture the W. That was a pretty close game, but the fireball is gonna land in time before the prince hit. And yeah, that was pretty whack, guys. Pretty whack. All right, guys, so we got a game against Rise Chaos. I wonder if this game is going to be chaotic. I'm going to go drop my bats in the back, and I want to see what Rise is about to do. So he's just leaking elixir. We're going to be dropping our giant in the back after we see a zap, so we know that it's probably not going to be expo, so we can safely drop our giant and not really care too much about the counter pressure. And he's going to be pressuring me pretty hard. So I'm going to go drop my Ice Spirit. I'm going to go drop my Goblin Gang, and then also, yeah, just kite everything opposite lane. It is on quite a journey right now. We're going for our bats. And wow, so he's probably rocking some bridge spam. He's got so many spells. What are those, man? You don't need that many spells for this game, bruh. And Santa Claus is going to be raining in the pain. I'm going to be zapping that after 3 seconds. So 1, 2, 3, going for the zap. We're going to get so many more Santa Claus presents on the tower. So this is going to be bridge spam, and he's going to have like 7 spells. So hopefully we can win this game, guys. It's going to be pretty hard for us to hop this W, though. I'm going to have to go in for a fireball on everything there. I'm going to go in for spear goblins off to the side to draw the barbarians and also see if he wants to go in for a zap. Otherwise, I feel like the Inferno Dragon dies, and we do not have to respond to that. So that was a pretty difficult series of events, but I'm really happy that those interactions played out the way that they did. I'm going to go in for the giant in the back as well, and he's going to go in for yet again another Dark Prince. So we're going to go in for the same series of interactions. We're going to be pulling everything opposite lane, going in for an Ice Spirit, and yeah, everything's going to get pulled yet again. Bandit's going to be going right-hand lane. Santa Claus is pressuring the right-hand lane, and Spear Goblins are behind the Santa Claus. So what does he want to do? Are you going to go drop your Inferno Dragon? We're still going to get hits with our giant, so I'm fine with that. 1, 2, 3, going for the zap. Get like 3 hits, so that's fine. That's a lot of damage for us. I'm going to have to go in for the bats behind the Ice Golem, otherwise the Ice Golem would completely obliterate it. And I'm going to go in for the Goblin Gang off to the side. Oh man, he's got arrows. So this guy's got the moves. He definitely does have the moves. Fortunately for us, Ice Spirit will deal with the remnants of the Inferno Dragon, so that's not too bad for me. I'm going to go in for a giant yet again in the back, and he's going to probably bridge spam me, but this time I'm going to drop Sparky, and that's going to work out really well for me. So Sparky is going to eat up that Dark Prince like a snack. I'm not going to have to expend too much elixir, and the Dark Prince is just going to die. Its shield was exhausted, and he goes in for a fireball as well. So that was 8 elixir to just deal with my Sparky. I'm fine with that negative elixir trade for you, man. And I'm going to go in for bats. I'm going to go in for spear goblins. He goes in for a zap, but the Inferno Dragon is not going to completely disintegrate us. Actually, it will. Unfortunately, this time the Inferno Dragon will do its job. But the bats did so much damage that he's not able to actually get everything through in time. So this is working out really well. I'm going to go in for my Goblin Gang. And wow, he's going in for a fireball, guys. This is not probably the best situation for me, but I'm just going to go in for a fireball. I got to go in for a zap and then go back to one more fireball. We got the game in the bag. I'm trying to keep that alive and thriving, but it's not really working. The Sparky did end up dying, and now I just need one more fireball before the Dark Prince hits. Oh my gosh, that was so close. Dark Prince did get a hit, but it didn't take my tower. And I thought that I recognized Rise's name. He is actually a really solid player, 20 wins. He had an 84 season finish. He's got over 100k cards won, so it's actually insane that this Sparky deck works so well against good players too. Alright guys, so we got a game against Prince Lucky, and I wonder if he's live on Twitch because his clan name says live on Twitch. We're going to be saucing out a good luck, and we're going to be dropping our bats at the bridge. What is Prince Lucky up to? I know he's actually a pretty good player, so this is going to be an interesting game. He's going to be saucing out a Mega Minion in the back, so it's most likely going to be a tank deck. When you see Mega Minion, yeah, it's probably going to be Giant Double Prince. Alright, so we're going to go sauce out the Sparky, and we're going to sauce out the thumbs up as well, because, you know, no one really expects Sparky, especially a good player running Sparky. What are those, right? So he's probably going to be dropping an Electro Wizard. I don't know if he's running Electro Wizard or not. No, he's got Night Witch. So this is going to be Giant Miner actually. So I'm going to go drop my Goblin Gang off to the side. Notice how we just shred, completely and utterly shred that Giant. Died in a split second. We're going to go drop an Ice Spear to make sure that the bats end up dying, allowing our Spear Goblins just to stay alive and our Sparky to be a little bit healthier, demanding even more of a response out of Prince Lucky. So what is up, dude? The Sparky is still alive and thriving. Oh my gosh. Unfortunately, Sparky doesn't get a hit there, but that was a lot of elixir expended by Prince Lucky, so I like the start to this game already. I don't want to go drop my Sparky because I want to save that for his Giant. I don't know if he's going to drop his Giant just yet. I assume he's probably not going to pressure opposite lane. Unfortunately, we don't really have a great answer to the Night Witch, but what we did see earlier on was we saw his log, so his log is not going to be in cycle. We're going to go in for a Fireball, and we're going to try to get a little bit of chip damage here and there, and I assume Santa Claus will give me one hit. It's very unfortunate to see him having multifarious spells. He's got Fireball, Log, Zap, and Poison, so not good for me. Hopefully we can come out with this W, but this is definitely going to be a difficult matchup for us. And he's also got guards, too, to surround our Sparky. But we're still getting a little bit of chip damage here and there. Notice how I'm still in the lead, despite this being a very difficult matchup. And Prince Lucky is a phenomenal player, too, so I would just be happy if we even drew this, honestly. We're going to go drop a Giant in the back. He's going to go drop his Mega Minion. He's going to go drop another Night Witch. The Night Witch is going to be pretty menacing because we don't have a great way of dealing with the bats, right? We have not too many air answers at all. So we're going to go drop our units off to the side. His Poison is not really encapsulating anything. Our Spear Goblins just evaded everything. There's no Zap in hand. There's nothing in hand. There's no Poison. There's no Log. So Spear Goblins are staying alive for quite a while. We're going to go in for our Giant, and we have our Sparky on the field as well. So hopefully we're going to be able to make something happen here. We're going to go in for our Fireball, and unfortunately Fireball Zap does not end up killing the Night Witch, but it will end up doing the guards dirty there. So he actually missed most of the guards. I said it was going to do the guards dirty, but they didn't do the guards dirty. We're going to go in for Spear Goblins to make everything go off to the side, having to go in for Ice Spirit as well. And oh geez, we're going to have to go in for a Giant on defense, which is something you usually don't want to do, but we're going to have to do it anyway. We're going to go drop Bats as well, and I think that we might be able to Fireball chip him out here. I don't want to go drop our, what is it? Yeah, I don't want to drop anything else because it's just going to give him spell value, so that's just something out of the question. Not something I'm allowed to do. Santa Claus is going to give me one more hit. Okay, 2 Fireballs, and we actually capture this W, so we're going to have to go drop Spear Goblins off to the side, go drop our Goblin Gang. We're trying to kite with Goblins. It's pretty weird. It's really whack, actually. So now we are in the situation where all we need is a Fireball hit, and that's going to be GG. But I feel like just going in for a Giant since we have a Sparky already on the field. I don't want to abandon my Sparky just yet, guys. I have an emotional attachment to my Sparky, so we're going to go in for a Fireball. Santa Claus will deliver one more present, and that's going to be GG. I can't believe we won that game. That was a very difficult matchup against a phenomenal player, so I'm happy to come away with that W. And that's actually where I'm going to end today's video. It was so fun to be able to play Sparky again. I haven't played it in a fat minute. Make sure to check out the deck, and I'm sure you guys will love it as well. The deck link will be down below in the pinned comment. Also, be sure to check out RoyaleAPI.com for all the latest 12-win decks just like this one. As always, thanks for watching, thanks for chilling with me, and I can't wait to see you guys next time. Peace out.